Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Everton versus Watford at Goodison Park. The last time we'll be playing a 3 o'clock game on a Saturday for a very long time. So enjoy it. Enjoy normality while you can.
Mid-January, isn't it?
I think
next
so,
home
yeah. Obviously, coming off the back of a bit of a tough week, losing a game at home, losing a very important player. This is a game, a lot of people are looking at now as a big one. As in, like, we've got to get 3 points, no matter what. We've got to get 3 points on Saturday, and it does feel like that. It feels like no matter what, we have to get 3 points as we go into a spell of tricky games coming up, and then once that international break comes back, a lot of games. So this feels like one of those games that we have to get through on Saturday.
Must win.
I think it is. It feels like a must win just to get the energy levels. Yeah,
isn't it? It's momentum. We responded last time that we'd lost the league game. We lost to Villa and went out the cup to QPR. We had Norwich at home and people were talking about a must-win game and everything else. And we got the job done that day and created that momentum to go to United. This one feel the same. I think in general people have been quite calm about the defeat on Sunday. I think a lot of people knew it was a tight game. I think most people looked at it and some people looked at it and could see it was an either-or game. Whoever got the goal would probably win it. I think had we not had the Decore news, I think people would have been like, all right, come on, bounce back. The Decore news really does feel like a kick in the nether regions, doesn't it? So we do have to bounce back. It'll be a tricky game. They've obviously replaced their manager with Ranieri. He was given a baptism of fire at the weekend. Liverpool spanked them. So we've got to be wary of that. But it is just about getting the job done this weekend. It's about hook or by crook job, just get the 3 points because it will pick the momentum back up. Then we go, we've got another tough game away at Wolves, but we've got 9 days before the next one, haven't we? So it is a must win. You don't want to put too much emphasis on these must wins in October, but it's a case of just making sure we respond with a negative result, with a positive result to just keep that forward momentum, definitely.
So it is Ultimate Fan Week 9, £5,000 up for grabs this week. I'm going to make one change to my team. I'm going to bring Bruno Fernandes in for Phil Foden, just because I don't want to be relying on one result. They are Man City are away to Brighton. I've already got Kyle Walker, John Stones, Kevin De Bruyne. So I'm going to bring Bruno Fernandes. And I think that's going to be it for me. I think I'm happy with that.
So that's it?
That's it. That's all I'm going to go for. I could bring Luca Dean in. I could have the likes of Tielemans in there. I could have more Liverpool players. I don't want to do that. That's even more dirty. I'm going to stick with that. Bruno Fernandes in for Phil Foden for this game.
Yeah, you see, you've made me think now about having too many players in one fixture. Because I've got 4 players in one fixture. I've already took out Souček.
Okay.
Took him out, putting Kai Havertz in. Chelsea are at home to Norwich.
There you go.
I'm hoping Havertz is... I'm going to take out Mason Greenwood. So my team is Chelsea, my team. Van Dijk is in there. Kyle Walker. Midfield players are made up of Kai Havertz now, again, home to Norwich, and Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
And he's the captain.
Ooh.
Right.
Controversial.
Captain.
Jamie Vardy's my captain.
Well, that's fine.
Mo Salah's my golden boot.
That's fine. And then the 2 up front are Son and Ronaldo. Ronaldo's my golden boot.
There you go. Don't forget, packs drop on a Tuesday. There's a free pack available. If you want the silver pack, $2.99 subscription for the month. If you want the gold pack, that's $4.99 for the month. You get £5 off Uber Eats with that, and you get an exclusive offer with the Personal Barber Shaving Club. You get a discovery box for £12.50. It's worth £40. Check that out. The links are in the description. Let us know. Tell us. Tag us when you pick your team. Put your team on your socials and tag us in it so we can see who's in your side. Check it out. Don't forget.
You beat me last week, didn't you?
I did.
I got 44 points.
I got like 70 odd points.
Yeah, you'd had that Saturday. I still had a game to go, and it didn't help.
That's the thing of only having so many games. So make sure you download the app if you haven't started playing Ultimate Fan yet. please do that. It's a good laugh. Have a little laugh with your mates. Get involved and see where you finish in the week. Resets every week as well. It's not a continual thing. It resets every week, so there's a chance to win money every single week. So check it out. The link is in the description. Yeah, I totally. It's just, yeah. I just think you look at a game like this and you think, you know what, all of us, any fan can be like, you don't want to hit that. You don't want to hit that thing, do you? Where your mind takes you elsewhere, or you think that the season's going to be this or that, or we have to, whatever. You know what I mean? You're absolutely right. When you've had a negative week, you just want to get back on it straight away, win a game of football, take the pressure off. And I think this is a good opportunity. Listen, Watford have just come off the back of a really, as you said before, a really big defeat. But you were playing up against a really good side in good form. Ranieri's first game, maybe he's looked at it and tried to be clever or look at different things. It hasn't quite come off. You'll have had a week's training with them. Might be able to see what's going on a little bit more. You might look at other results. Norwich came to Goodison Park and they tried to keep it tight. We got a penalty and then they frustrated us for a lot of the second half till the Corey scored the goal. You might look at it like that, try and play in the counter-attack. You might look at it like stop us playing it, because that's the other thing. The thing about these games is it sort of forces us to play the way we've been playing this season. We don't, we haven't been playing with a lot of possession, and that's the way the manager wants it. But a game like this forces you to go the other way. Can you open? Ranieri, you'll be looking at going, can these open us up? Don't forget, he won the league with Leicester with just a ridiculously low. I think possession rate, and he'll be looking at something similar, I imagine, going forward. Get men behind the ball, set pieces, Sarr on the counter attack. So for us, we have to be wary of that, and it's about us. Can we break them down? Do we have good enough players? And it has to be but it has to be the other way for us as well. If we get a set piece, can we make something of that? And I think that's what's interesting about these games are. You're looking for that little moment of inspiration, or and hopefully we'll get it. We don't want to be bogged down, because I think that's the other thing. You go into a game like this. I mean, lots been said about the atmosphere, and whatever your thoughts are on it. In a game like this, there's a certain level of expectation and a certain level of trepidation, because you feel like the job should be. So you're waiting for the team to do something rather than setting the tone. And if it takes a little bit of time and it's not quite going the way we want it to go, you can feel that frustration within the ground. So an early goal on Saturday would be lovely.
That would be lovely. It'd be absolutely lovely, but it's not something we've really done this season at home. We did score in the first half against Norwich, but it was a penalty, like you said. But we didn't score in the first half didn't score against West Ham. We didn't, 3 goals in the second half against Burnley. 3 goals in the second half against Southampton. So we haven't scored a goal from open play in the first half at Goodison, and yet we've had a lot of chances. Even Sunday, in a game where we didn't have loads of chances, we had 2 good chances in the first half. Iwobi should have put one away, and the Corey was close with a header that just went wide. You could turn around and say he maybe should have hit the target, but it'll be a case of a different way anyway. Everton will have to play the weekend because the Corey's out. So the manager's got some important decisions to make there. Is it Tom Davis? Does he come in and sit? Does Iwobi stay in that number 10 role? Does Gabaman get a rare start? Was the only start in the Premier League's ever made. But Everton was against Watford. It was, so does he come into the thinking? So Everton have got, we're hoping, and the manager's come out and said something as well. They're hoping to have Richarlison in the squad at the weekend. I don't think he'll start. But just having him on the bench is a good option. It gives you something to look at the bench and go, well, we've got him to come on. So we will have to approach it differently. They do carry a threat. Ismail Sarr's a player I'd love at Everton. They carry a threat. You're right, they'll be strong off set plays. Before Saturday, they'd conceded 10 goals in 7 games, so they're not letting loads of goals in. They're not scoring loads of goals either. I think they've only scored 7 goals themselves, so they're not scoring a lot of goals. Everton have almost scored 2, we're averaging almost 2 a game until the weekend, near enough, for 1 point, whatever it was, 7. So we have scored, we found goals, decent to come by. But we're going to have to, like we say, we're going to have to play a little bit of a different way. And it might be that they throw it over to us and go, we'll have the ball in. And we have got to be then clever, and we've got to make sure the movement's right. You know, they went with 5. We can have a look at the formation they played against Liverpool, which has changed because they've been playing 4 at the back. They went to a back 3 or a back 5, if you like, against Liverpool. And one person who had a particularly tough time was Danny Rose.
Yeah.
Now, he was playing kind of like a left centre-back, left-back role. If that's the case, he'd be up against Andros Townsend, who's having a really good time at the minute. He struggled a little bit. They've moved Ismail Sarr from a wide area up to the lone frontman. They had obviously Sissoko. We know all about him in there as well. They've got Dennis, who scored at Norwich in one of Watford's away wins. So they've got a threat. João Pedro was on the bench, so they do carry a threat. But I think with Everton, it's how we negate their threat. We did it. Even though West Ham had a lot of the ball at the weekend, they didn't really create anything of note up until they got the goal, and the goal came out of a mistake. So we did stop their threat. They did a good job on us as well, by the way. So we'll have to do that again and make sure, we're wary of them on the break. But it's going to be dead interesting because Rondon struggled against West Ham, let's be perfectly honest. He's got to get himself into this game. He's got to get himself in areas where he's going to hurt Watford. Because if he just sits like he did the other day, their centre-backs will have an easy game again. And we've got to try to catch them and unsettle them. If you get an early goal against teams like this, who are in the middle of a changeover, they've just been spanked, there's a tendency you see it with some teams, it's here we go again. And the heads go down a little bit. What we did against Norwich, we allowed them to get confidence. Yeah. We did it with West Ham. We allowed them to get on the ball and get confidence. So that's something that I think Everton have got to try to mix up.
It's difficult though, isn't it, when that's the style of play? When the style of play is counter-attack and let the opposition have the ball, there is, that's what West Ham did really well on Sunday. They didn't allow us to get behind them. They didn't.
And we were never going to with London, were we?
And so we never really stretched them. We never got too many opportunities where we broke. They lost the ball in midfield. But I'm sure there will be opportunities to play like that. But I said, in the games we've played, the core has been the centre there. He's the person who picks the ball up and then starts striding forward. Then you get the likes of Townsend and Gray going on one side and the other. But we're not going to have that. And as you said, it's going to be interesting to see what we do, whether he just brings in someone to fit in that role, but there's nobody who's like for like. So you could have a Tom Davies, Gbamin. I mean, we don't know what his levels are, and that's the really difficult thing. Does he put him in there and see how he works his levels? Does he put him in there, taking a Iwobi out, put a Tom Davies in as well, and say, well, we'll protect you as a midfield?
That's what I thought.
Almost maybe the same.
What would you do? Would you go with the 3?
I think if Andre Gomez was available, I think I would go for a 3 and have him and Tom Davies in there. I don't think it's ideal, but I do think that allows a front 3 to just be a little bit more higher up the pitch. And try and get Gomez on the ball, try and get Tom busy. It's not ideal. Of course it's not. We've lost our best player. He's our best player this season.
And he's been our best player this season.
He's been our best player this season. The numbers all say that. He's the player, who
he's ran
more than goals, anybody. Assists, he gets forward, he gets back, helps
covering
us,
7 miles a game.
Helps us on set pieces. He's massive, and there's no one to replace him. So it doesn't matter whatever name I say, it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to think of is how do you almost replace him in the aggregate? How do you say? Well,
I personally would go with Davies, Gbamin and Allen in midfield.
Yeah.
And I'd have Townsend right, I'd have Gray left. It's gonna be Rondon. I wouldn't in an ideal world it'd be Richarlison fully fit, but it's gonna be Rondon because they're gonna take the time at Richarlison, and probably rightly so. We don't want them breaking down, do we? But like you just said, I would say to Gray and Townsend, get higher up the pitch. Let's try to force these back. Say to Rondon this week, pin their centre-backs back. Don't drop into midfield and allow them up the pitch.
Even if you're just up there.
As a focal
point where you're backing in, you're holding them up. The minute you drop off, the minute they can move forward 10 yards or 5 yards.
That's what I would do, because I'd have Tom Davies probably just sitting. Allow Allen to push on a little bit and do a bit of harrying and pressing, and get Gbamin doing the same. I think what he may do is have Tom Davies in there with Alan and have a Wobie in the 10.
Possibly,
and then a Wobie will be tasked with breaking forward, kind of the way.
Yeah.
No, like the Corey, but like you've just said, what you have to do is look and go, we've just lost that. What's the best way that will still have some of those attributes? Is Gbamin going to break into that space? Possibly not. He did it in pre-season, but like you've just said, we don't know what his level. He hasn't even got on the pitch in a Premier League game yet, so we don't know. So it's how you can get around that. But we lost the Corey last season for 10 weeks, whatever it was. We still got points. It wasn't the same. We weren't as good, but we still won games of football. It's up to squad members, and I know I say it, and I'm not really convinced in my own voice when I'm saying it, but it's up to these players who call themselves Everton midfield players to get in and prove that we can cope without them. They will bring different attributes to it, but sometimes, well, not the most times, the best teams are,
that's why it's
a team,
and that's why it's so frustrating going into a game like this with that negativity. You want to go in there going, we've just got beat, but imagine if the Corey hadn't got fit, and you're thinking, all you think about is Charlton's coming back, and that's all you're thinking about. But no one's thinking like that.
Let's think about that anyway.
No one's thinking like that. Though what they're thinking is, how do we replace the Corey? And that's the difficult question. But I suppose in a way, you want a game like this. You want a game where you're looking at it like that and thinking, well, someone's got to go in there and do it. But then again, we don't know who's available. We don't know if Andre Gomes is available. We don't know what Gbamin's levels are. I'm sure. See, Tom Davies will be tasked, I imagine, one way or another, to get in there and do his job. And at least with him, and this is why managers do play him, because he's always available. He's always, you're going into a game on.
Rely on him, can't you?
You're going on a game on Saturday. We've got no idea if Gomes is fit. We know Delph isn't fit. We have no idea what Gbamin's levels are. So that leaves you one player, and that's Tom Davies. And it doesn't matter whether people like him, don't like him, think he's terrible, think he's a championship player. That lad is always available. So therefore he will get games. So it will be, I imagine, he will be the immediate swap for the Corey. And then it'll be, well, how do we change it? Do we bring someone else in and drop a Wobie? Or like you just said, do we stick a Wobie in the number 10 and say, you've got to be the player who we say you break free. You pick that ball up and you move with it. You use the space.
Because theoretically, that still should create 4 attacking players, in theory, plus your fullbacks.
Yeah, it should be like a front diamond.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it should be. And Iwobi apparently that's where he wants to play.
That's what he wants to play.
So go and do it. I know, listen, we say it every week, and I've tried to always give him.
Men in Black.
I've always tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and go, someday it's gonna, and he's gonna do something.
The problem is that people go, the problem with this way is, you could look at Anthony Gordon and say Anthony Gordon plays out left and Gray drops in, but I don't know whether Gray can drop in and make that extra midfielder. I'll be honest, I don't think Iwobi can do that either. But what do you do?
Could Anthony Gordon?
I don't think he can, because I don't think he's big enough. I don't think he's got the this one to drop in. You need a player who's going to drop in and become an extra midfielder. Iwobi should, at this stage of his career, have the brain to do that and the ability to do that.
Even if you just nuisance value,
I don't know if he will. Gbamin, again, if Gbamin was any kind of physical condition that we knew of,
he should just be in.
He should be in. He's been on the bench every week. This is what he should be in there for. Before he signed for Everton, he was a midfielder who picked up the ball and moved it forward and then just give a pass. And that's sort of exactly what you want. But we can't, it's that the injury he got to his Achilles as a physical level has just destroyed him. And we don't know. And I'm not sitting here going, oh yeah, he's the answer. Because only the manager will know what his
Pre-injury, he was the answer. Pre-injury, if he'd have had no injury, he'd be a mainstay in Everton's team.
So, and this would be that thing of this is the ideal scene. We talked about him some, and people were like, oh, would you give him a go? And I was like, well, let's get Alan the Corey in there first, and we'll see. But what we saw from against Huddersfield, his levels are just, he didn't look like he had it.
But how do you get...
No, I know, that's the problem.
In his defence, right, how does he ever get to that level if you don't play him?
Training, though. That's what they do in training.
Well, he is training, isn't he?
No, I know.
Every day.
Maybe it's a case of he doesn't get on the pitch because he is the Corey's backup. So who knows? Maybe on Saturday, 2:00, Gabamman's name's on the team sheet and we all go, okay, let's see what happens.
What I would expect, though, is that he gets some game time
But
on
he'd have
Saturday,
to,
regardless.
But he'd have to, I do imagine if Gabamman played, Tom Davies would play as well. Because I just don't think you can get away with Allen and someone like Gabamman in there. I think you'd have to have Tom Davies as your security. And then Iwobi goes up the side.
I think it's probably more likely Davies will play and Gabamman will be a sub and come on.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if Gabamman...
For his height and all that. Because he'd be ideal pair for his physicality.
And 100% Mina back as well, by the way.
Oh, well, he's got to be straight back in there. You see, there's other options, isn't there? There's Mason Holgate, who I still think can do his job in there. I've seen people saying put Ben Godfrey in there, who's played 50-odd career games as a defensive midfield player. I don't know. The manager's got to come up with those answers, hasn't he? That's what he's paid for.
Yeah, but I think in the short term, you've got to try and keep it as simple as possible.
Well, Mina will come back in. He's not going to drop. I don't think Michael Keane gets dropped.
He won't drop Michael Keane.
So Godfrey's either right back, which means Coleman's getting dropped. Is he going to drop James Coleman? I don't think he was that bad at the weekend. So Godfrey will be out the team.
Mad, isn't he?
Won't he?
We've got
so
the centre-back position.
We've got 5 centre-backs. And we've got, really, who could all play a part. Yeah. But we're not fit for purpose in midfield once we lose one of our best two. So that's where the issue is. Obviously, we've just mentioned in Watford. Let's just have a quick look at Ismail Assar's stats. We've picked him out as the danger man. He's had 8 appearances for Watford this season. He's got 4 goals, 12 shots on target. In Ultimate Fan, if you're playing that, he's the top Watford player in that. He's got you 65 points if he's in your Ultimate Fan team. I've actually got him. He's on my bench.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to start him.
I can't because I want him to do all right, so he's staying off the team. But no, it's a game, listen, and I must say as well, even though he'll wind me up after 11 seconds on Saturday, I do love Ben Foster, and I do love his cycling goalkeeper video.
Watford fans don't seem to like him after the weekend, but there you go.
To be fair, he made one he should have done better.
No, what he said, puts up in a YouTube video, didn't he? Saying how amazing Liverpool were and all this. And I know it helped.
They were quite good.
Imagine if one of our players said that.
No, we wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But he's a boss.
We should have signed him.
We should have signed
him 2 years ago. Yeah. We should have signed him when they went down. He should have been our backup goalkeeper.
But if he'd have done his video and said that playing for us,
but we should have.
We should have done, yeah. But so it'll be interesting to see whether Ranieri sticks with him or mixes, because he's been in and out a little bit. So it'll be
Ranieri changing the team. No,
the tinker man.
No, it's going to be
the tinker.
As I said, it's going to be one of those games Saturday where you just want to get the 3 points, get through it, and move on to 17 points.
Just very quickly before we finish, there's a bit of discussion over Everton's possession. At the weekend, like West Ham, I think we have 39% of possession. I've just seen quite a few Evertonians lauding Simeone in the week. Love him at our club, and that his average is 27% possession. Our fans would hate it. Absolutely hate it. Mad.
No.
But this will be interesting to see whether Ranieri does go, you have the ball, and because of what he did.
No, you have the ball.
We have the, who wants the ball?
Ball's just in the air all the time. No, listen, we need 3 points. We need to get back on winning ways, get up to 17 points, and
lick our wounds for the week later.
Just get back winning, and then that'll be another week to help players get back to Corey, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's where we are, ain't it? That's where we are right now. What we don't want is another negative game where you've got that another week of just being, miserable. Because that's what it's like.
Can we just have a nice week now?
Yeah, that's it.
Watford can have a nice week after the weekend.
There you go. It's come too early for Watford this game. It's come too early for them.
I hope so.
Do us a favour, download the Ultimate Fan app. The link is in the description. Get involved in it. Get your packs and start playing. And it really helps the channel out, by the way, if you do that as well. Once you get it, you'll start playing it. I guarantee you'll start playing it. Don't forget as well, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, daily live videos, come over to Patreon. The link is in the description. It's on the screen. A great community. And also, just ahead of Christmas, you'll get discounts for t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies, mugs, ideal Christmas presents. If you're thinking of someone in your family, you don't know what to buy them, head over to our shop. Lots of good Everton stuff over there. There you go. Thanks for watching. See you later.